Picture this. You're browsing the web, totally in the zone, getting things done, and suddenly, bam, attention required, sorry, you have been blocked. Ugh, right? It's incredibly frustrating, and you are just stopped dead in your tracks. Well, just as a web firewall blocks your digital progress with an immediate non-negotiable error, an unexpected issue hiding right behind the walls of your house can instantly halt a home renovation. You are completely blocked until a costly, unexpected change order is signed.
Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're taking off the rose-colored glasses. We're looking past those glossy, magazine-perfect photos to deal with reality. We're going to arm you with the hard data you need to control your financial destiny during a build so your renovation firewall doesn't block your dream project. We are talking all about cost overruns, why they happen, where the money actually goes, and exactly how you can stop the bleeding before it even starts.
Okay, here's our roadmap to calm the chaos today. 1. The renovation reality check. 2. Psychology of scope creep. 3. Hidden costs behind drywall. 4. The 2026 remodeling market. And finally, 5. Defending your final budget. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The renovation reality check, the statistical norm. To kick things off, we really have to start by wiping away the shame of an expanding budget. Get this. According to aggregated data from the National Association of Home Builders, roughly 40 to 50% of major renovation projects exceed their initial budget. I mean, let that sink in, nearly half. So look, if you're staring at a ballooning spreadsheet right now and feeling like you totally failed at your financial planning, take a deep breath. Going over budget isn't a personal failure. It's literally a statistical norm in this industry.
But how much cash are we actually talking about when things go off the rails? Well, the average cost overrun usually falls between 10 and 20% of the total project cost. To put that into real-world terms, on a median $90,000 upscale kitchen remodel, you're likely looking at an extra $9,000 to $18,000 by the time the dust settles. That's not just a rounding error. That's your entire high-end luxury appliance package, or the cost of custom flooring for your whole first floor just evaporating overnight. And for larger additions, man, that dollar amount scales up frighteningly fast.
Section 2. Psychology of scope creep. The mental budget battle. So why does this happen so consistently everywhere? Honestly, before a single hammer swings, the budget battle actually begins right in our own minds. It's all because of this trap right here, aspirational anchoring. You know how it goes. You're scrolling Instagram or Pinterest, and you see this gorgeous photo of a 12-foot honed quartzite island. Instantly, your brain anchors to that flawless image as the baseline for your project. But what your brain completely glosses over is the harsh reality. You don't see the $25,000 materials cost or the structural engineering required just to get that massive slab safely into your kitchen. We severely underestimate the true landed cost of those high-end finishes.
So the crucial takeaway here is that malicious corner-cutting contractors rarely cause these massive overruns. The true culprits are usually these three predictable factors. First, unforeseen site conditions. Basically, the hidden secrets your house is keeping from you. Second, homeowner-driven scope creep. This is that incredibly relatable while we're at it syndrome. You know, while we're at it, since the plumber's already here, let's just redo the powder room. And third, unrealistic initial allowances, usually born straight from that aspirational anchoring we just talked about.
Section 3. Hidden costs behind drywall. The anatomy of an overrun. Let's move from the mental traps to the physical realities and see why demolition is actually highly diagnostic.
Let's walk through 3 representative 2026 projects that perfectly expose these exact root causes. First up, an $85,000 kitchen bid balloons to $98,000. Why? Hidden electrical needs and those appliance overages. Next, a primary suite jumps a massive $25,000. This happens because major structural deficiencies were hiding quietly behind the walls, totally invisible during the bidding phase. Finally, a basement project creeps up by $7,000. The culprit? Mid-project homeowner requested changes. The classic while we're at it syndrome strikes again.
You see, when the drywall finally comes down, especially in homes over 30 years old, your house tells its history. And sometimes, that history is expensive. You might open a wall and find outdated, fire hazard knob and tube wiring. Or maybe failing galvanized steel plumbing that is practically crumbling away. Or worse, structural dry rot and termite damage. I really want to emphasize this. Finding these things demands immediate, unbudgeted action. These aren't fun aesthetic choices you can debate over coffee. They are absolute, non-negotiable code necessities. Your renovation firewall just threw up a massive block.
Section 4. The 2026 remodeling market.
stricter codes, and changing supplies. Speaking of codes, the landscape of renovation is constantly shifting, so we need to look at the current market realities. Industry pros look at benchmarks like the Remodeling Market Index. It's a scale that takes the pulse on the rate of incoming leads and future backlogs. If the index is over 50, it means contractors are very busy. Now, why should you care about some wonky industry index? Well, because when contractors are this busy, they absolutely do not need to compete on price, meaning you lose a significant amount of leverage at the negotiating table.
So what does this 2026 market actually look like for you? Well, first, the extreme material nightmares are mostly over for standard stuff like framing and drywall. But if your heart is set on custom European cabinetry, brace yourself for 4 to 6 month lead times. Second, stricter 2024 building codes now mandate things like arc fault circuit interrupters and enhanced insulation. This basically acts like a mandatory tax on your build. But there is a silver lining. You can actually claw some of that money back. The Inflation Reduction Act offers serious rebates for energy efficiency upgrades, so things like new heat pumps and EV chargers might be a lot more affordable than you'd think.
Section 5. Defending your final budget, the prescription. Let's pull all this data together into a robust, actionable plan to cap costs without sacrificing your final result.
Your first line of defense starts with the paperwork. A fixed-price contract is generally safer and gives you budget predictability. But keep in mind, the contractor is definitely baking in a premium to cover their own risk. And please hear me on this, a fixed price does absolutely not stop change orders. Vague scopes or hidden site conditions will still trigger extra out-of-pocket costs. On the flip side, a cost-plus contract might look way cheaper on day one, but it offers zero budget certainty and transfers all the financial risk of those hidden surprises straight onto your shoulders. To really defend your budget, you've got to treat your initial contractor meetings like a strategic job interview. Ask these 3 precise questions. It shifts the power dynamic and puts you on offense. You're actively testing their transparency. If a contractor can't clearly explain how they handle hidden problems, or if they hesitate to show you a professional, itemized change order from a past project, honestly, that's a massive red flag. Walk away. You can also actively prevent scope creep by making incredibly smart design choices before the work even begins. Be strategic. Go ahead and splurge on that one major focal point, like that honed quartzite island, but balance it fiercely by saving elsewhere. Try high-end luxury vinyl plank instead of solid hardwood. It looks amazing and is practically bulletproof. Swap ultra-expensive handmade tile for classic ceramic subway tile. And a huge pro tip, always bundle your trades. Have the plumber rough in the kitchen and that new powder room on the exact same day so you don't pay expensive setup fees twice.
And here is the absolute golden rule of home renovation. For a home over 30 years old, you absolutely must lock in a liquid contingency fund of 15 to 20% of the total project cost from day one. And I mean liquid. Actual cash sitting in an account, not just a theoretical buffer on a spreadsheet. Do not treat this as a maybe fund. And whatever you do, never ever absorb this money early in the project just to afford a fancier cabinet finish. This is your critical safety net for those inevitable surprises hiding behind your walls.
So I'll leave you with this thought. A real budget isn't just a hopeful static number on a piece of paper. It's a living, breathing financial strategy designed explicitly for the unknown. If a successful budget is your ultimate defense, how will you protect your renovation firewall from being blocked? Plan for the uncertainty, demand total transparency from your partners, and use this framework to take full control of your next major home project. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.